Hello again. Few of the commonly asked questions to the I don't know clients answer are how to cope with I don't knows and what does it mean when the client in front of you says I don't know. Now, it's a bit hard to answer the first question without knowing the context of the moment or being in the session, as it is also asked as how to cope with. Perhaps it's meant what to do in those moments, and it could also imply that we need to get another answer other than I don't know. But anyhow, I will answer the second question first, so we can look at few possibilities, and perhaps the practitioners themselves can shape the answer of the first question, and hope it will make sense. So back to the main thing. Let's see what I don't know can be. And it can be different things. Like it can be a confusion moment. It can be a resistance moment. It can be an out of option moment. It can be a few more things, all right? So, however, if you think about it, what all these moments have in common is that they are more of unconscious moments or cues, slips, expressions that come from the client. And that is what I'll teach you in the practitioner's training to recognize. So all the unconscious moments, those you'll know exactly how to respond to different situations that involve them, which also involve the I don't know many times. What in most cases therapists do is that they try to force an answer in these situations. And if it is an unconscious moment, the best thing to do actually is just be present with the client. So there, in those moments, there is no need for much speech, so to speak, or simply you can smile and say, I know. And if the person is really at this deep within place, that response of the therapist is not awkward because it recognizes the expression of what cannot be expressed with words or with other words. So it's a place where there are no words. However, that is when the therapist, due to inertia of trying to solve the problem, start saying something like to feel the feeling the awkward moment, so to speak, to fill in the silence. Now, there are a few ways to look at when I don't know also happens. And one is when the client becomes frustrated, as I said earlier, when the hypnotist or NLPer perhaps tries to force the answer from the client. And what in these moments happens due to the whatever trainings people might have had, the hypnotist just tries to be a hypnotist, or of course, and the NLPer is just doing the NLPer and so on, which can become the biggest obstacle in a therapy session, how much contraindicative it may sound. And that from the client's perspective, sometimes, especially if they aren't at all at this deeply focused place or state, could be looked as, what are you trying to ask me? I'm frustrated. Or it could be looked as a judgment, or as if you are trying to highlight their incapabilities, that they should know something that they don't. And the other possibility now is that the person has simply dived deep within, where they have exhausted all conscious reasoning and are at this place where they are processing and or are about to have some kind of a realization. So they are fascinated, but they have no words. At these moments, it's easy. It's like they have arrived on the edge of their map, if we use now an NLP term. So at a place where the language does not exist, as I was saying earlier. But just being present now with your client at these moments, you can't miss it. So all you say is, as I said, again, nothing, or just, stay with your clients. And only if you try to push or to force an answer, can think now of the words you see from the client at those moments, you could ruin it. then let's say if it's a kind of, I don't know, that whatever you ask, now the client says, I don't know. First thing that comes to my mind is that either the person had some presupposition of how the session should look like or should go, like, you doing the work without them having to engage at all. And perhaps if that's the presupposition, the person is simply probably not willing to share anything or is not really interested in participating in their own transformation at all. And in those cases, there's not much you can do, you see. In my training, if you're not already taught, for these moments, I'll teach the practitioners how they can spot those signs of one not willing to participate in their own session, and already during the consultation call, discovery call, or clarity call, however you call it. So that would be then very easy, because if you find you can work together and that happens in the session, you either ask more clear questions or start from another place altogether whenever you're hitting a dead end. So the only thing I would not recommend is, as you could notice probably, is forcing the client in some way or in any way to answer your question, because then the resistance goes up like straight away. You could deal with that too, you see, but there are easier ways, as I keep saying, so you don't have to put any pressure on yourself. Now, just to recap, what I recommend, you're invited to try it, is to be present and curious, pay attention to the unconscious cues, sleeps, moment, expressions, however you want to call it. And the biggest of all, if you do this and stop pressuring yourself to find the solution you think are best for your clients, you are in a good place. So now, hope this made sense. If you have more questions, feel free to send them in DMs and I will make more content like this. Now, thanks for listening again and see you in the next video.